Hello everyone, good morning, welcome back to Gwent. My name is Rooster and this is a Monster Consume deck being led by Dagon here. This is a deck that is mostly popularized through the change to Vran Warrior, which is actually really strong right now. So it's a consume-focused deck in which the Vran Warrior usually eats, usually not knackers actually, but usually eats Arakas created by the Arakas Behemoth. It also features the 3 crones, which are very strong right now, especially with the changed strength, which means that they are now no longer very vulnerable to Geralt Igni, for example. Also Scorch, which is really popular right now. Also features Kayran, of course, and the usual monster good stuff. One single Necker Warrior, not entirely convinced about that one, but it could be decent. Maybe shuffling some Arakas into your deck to get some free ones, maybe shuffling some Neckers if you feel you're running out. And most of it should be self-evident once we start playing, so let's hop into some casual games. I'll probably start playing some ranked again pretty soon. The meta has settled mostly. There's a lot of Radovid out there. So that's probably a deck I'll feature soon enough. Perhaps tomorrow we'll see if I find the time. I'll be away for the weekend, but we'll see if we can squeeze some recordings in tomorrow. I've, as usual, been spending way too much time talking and reading about the game, compared to actually playing it, which is a tendency I'm often known to exhibit. Junk Calveit, that's something you don't see every day. So the thing with crones here is that you usually don't want any of them in your starting hand, mostly to avoid drawing multiples. So let's throw these away first. You want as many Arakas Behemoths as possible, and also probably a Necker would be nice. I like most of these cards, except maybe for the Dimeritium Shackles, which might be a bit optimistic against a Nilfgaard deck. Not really sure what to expect from a John Calveit, except for a lot of spies, and we're pretty good against spies, so that's cool. That is pretty cool. He'll want to use his hero power ability pretty soon, or otherwise we're consuming the heck out of this Cantrella. And in fact, I'm not even sure whether it's good to be greedy here, or just to eat her right away. Maybe just eat. Well, we don't have a Vran, which is kind of a problem. But let's just eat her right away. Since we don't have a Vran, we can't really get the machine going. So I think I'm actually fine with this. Let's place the Ekamara on the melee row, so we can place a Necker in front of a possible cow carcass. That would mean that the Necker is actually our next play, but I feel he's going to throw a carcass for the Cantarella, or just use his hero power pretty soon, so that's not going to work out too well for us. Can we just pass here? I actually don't want to pass early in the first round, but we're also not really having the greatest time right now with our current hand, so I'm not really sure what the correct approach here is going to be. We could actually use Avalach, which is not horrible except for the fact that we may draw into Neckers, but that's always going to be a thing that happens. I think we can actually safely play him. So yeah, that was gonna happen, but at least we found the Vran Warrior, so we can go a bit deeper during this round, which I like. This Ekamara also really vulnerable to Scorch, so passing now would be rather risky, I feel. We did get the biggest value out of his hero power already, and that is not really that great if you intend to bounce that, so I'm perfectly okay with that. Multiple Neckers in hand, not ideal. I can eat the Ambassador though, so that's rather nice. Let's go with the Arakas Behemoth and hope that it doesn't get cowed. Or shot, I guess. That's the thing that happens. But he surely won't have 2 of those, right? Surely he won't. So, yeah, the Ogfist is a little unfortunate. We don't have any removal for that, unless he places something on the siege row right now. That would be a silly thing, but I guess that would mean our Arrakis dies, so that's also... wow. I did not expect that. Well, I think we're still going on the Vren train, aren't we? Because he's killing that with Ogfist. I guess we could actually just Dimeritium Bomb, which is kind of terrible, but at least it would mean this thing survives, and it seems like he doesn't have a good way to get rid of it. We could actually clear skies here, even though that seems terrible. We could also just consume, and then I really want to keep this though. We could either Dimeritium Bomb. Actually, let's Dimeritium Bomb just because we don't really care about the siege row as much. I think that I'm actually okay with that. Yes. Oh, that also leaves his row alone. I was actually confused about that when I realized Dimeritium Bomb doesn't actually clear the weather. So that leaves his row alone. He cannot really replay Ogfist, so that's all pretty nice. And we can get the train rolling with the Vran Warrior right now, which is cool. I'm okay with that. It's not as big a train as we would like, of course, but we're doing relatively fine here. Now, something to keep in mind is that the Arrakis that spawn actually do count for the monster passive, if I'm being correct. It occasionally does some strange things, so gotta be a little careful with that. We could actually shuffle some Arrakis in, but that seems like an awful idea. Let's just play a Necker and see what happens. He's got a really big Shieldsmith there, but as soon as he throws an Adrenaline Rush effect on that, we'll make sure to kill that with Geralt Igni, so that should be fine.
I warned you!
There, I was expecting that one. Expecting a pass pretty soon in that case, unless we just kill it right now. And I would certainly be okay with that. Did we play the Necker last, or... I'm actually okay with this. So this should provoke a pass from him, and that does mean that we get to keep a little Arrakis. That's a little unfortunate, I guess, but not too much we can do about that, unfortunately. We're going to pass. We're not going to spend any other resources on this turn. So now would be a good turn to actually play something big to be allowed to keep that around, but I'm actually okay with business as it is right now. Now I would have liked to draw a crone there. I'm not sure how big our deck is right now. We'll actually have to check as soon as our opponent is done replacing cards. I really hope they will remove this, by the way, because it doesn't really make too much sense. Did I actually see what he discarded, or is that just... No, that's probably just me. So this Grave Hag is also looking to be really nice, since there will be... well, there's not too many Arrakis in our graveyard right now, actually, but our graveyard will be decently sized eventually, so I'm okay with that. Last plate unit will be the Necker, I think, which is not a horrible unit to keep, but we'd rather keep something else, I think. So let's go with actually the second Necker. Just build a bit of a board. We don't have any real consume targets, but I guess we could first light a couple times. We kind of want to build a decently sized board here. Is he going to steal our behemoths right now? I don't really care too much about that, and that just means that next turn we can caretaker one back, so I'm not really sure why you would do that, except for it being the best target, I guess, but that's a bit brave. Let's go first light, see if we get something useful. We do get a Vran. You kind of don't want to have Vran eat the Neckers, but in this case it's actually probably fine. Because we actually want the Vran to be able to consume something. So I guess I'm actually okay with this. It's a little iffy. But the Vran will never really be the thing that that we get to keep until the end of the round, so... well, he gets to do a decent imitation again. It's funny how people are are likely to want to imitate this deck. Alright. So, what do we do here? I'm pretty sure we first light again and see if we can get a behemoth going. We are ahead, so we force him to play an extra card. I think we can do better than this, though. We can make a huge K-run and then see if that does anything for us. Would have liked to actually get some Neckers out. I guess he can just eat some Neckers and grow really big. If it's the only thing that's left, then that's actually also good. Oh, but then we keep the Necker Warrior, don't we? Oh no, it's going to eat the Necker Warrior. That's actually fine. That is actually fine. So play the Necker Warrior, target the Neckers. And then we can go like this for quite a while. I do have to choose a certain moment at which the thing is big enough for us to consider just K-running it, and our opponent had the same idea, unfortunately. So I'm probably going to... Well, we don't have to win this round, but I would like to actually first light at this point, and we should have first lighted first, because this could have definitely given us a Necker, which we don't really want.
Interesting choice.
So what's he gonna do? Kill that one. Alright, that kind of makes sense. And killing the behemoth, probably... Yeah, I think we're done for this round. What did we play last? We played the Necker Warrior. Or do we actually... I actually do want to use our leader power to try and get another Vran Warrior here. We could also go with the Grave Hag and see... that's probably too greedy. Maybe we shouldn't even be investing at this point, but... I think I'm actually kind of okay with this. We're not really getting going here, and that's kind of bad. But in this case we did kind of make it work. So in this case we actually get to keep a 10 strength unit, and that's fine. That is actually excellent. Or we could keep... we basically have free pickings on what unit to keep. If we eat a Necker at the very last, actually that doesn't work. Maybe if we play the Grave Hag last, then we could keep her around. That could be decently strong. Although that won't work if the Vran actually gets to eat something. So, that's a little confusing. I guess we could K-round to eat all of it, but then we keep a Necker? I'm really confused right now. How about we Grave Hag? He already used his Igni, and... Or do we... If we K-round now, we have to eat all of this, and I don't want to do that. So how about we Grave Hag right now? I think we have to go for it right now, because... He's decently strong right now. He does have quite a big lead, so perhaps this is wrong, but K-Ran is also not really doing anything for us. This, going into next turn, actually. So Grave Hag going into decent sizes, and now we can actually consume a lot of stuff with K-Ran. And that means we get to... actually it's not going to work, is it? Yeah, if we eat this, no, we get to keep the Necker, but I guess keeping a 12 strength Necker is actually fine. Does this give us the lead, though? I think it actually might if we spawn another Necker with this. So I think I'm okay with this. We eat this one, we get a new Necker, which we don't get to eat immediately, but that's okay. And I'm not really sure... Oh, I should have definitely ate the Necker last. I realize. But he has to play another card. His leader power doesn't do anything right now. So I think we're in a good spot here. He has to play his last card and we get to keep either an 8 strength Necker or a 13 strength Grave Hag. I'm pretty sure we keep the Necker. But... Or we just win. Alright. So going all in there was the right choice, I think. If we had If we had the Crones, then we could have just played the Crones and waited for him to catch up. So just play the Crones and pass, and then you get to keep a Crone for the next round, and hopefully they spend more cards than you did trying to catch up. But let's hop into another game and see how that works. That was a curious thing. I think we made the right call by eating Cantarella immediately, because that's a pretty big strength swing. Of course, Cantarella does lose her buff when she transfers over back to the Nilfgaard side, but it's still an 18-point swing, so that's pretty significant, and one that should be avoided if possible. So, so eating that was definitely valuable, and let's see what we do here. So mulliganing away the Crones didn't really help us last game, but I do still think that is the right call. So what do we need? Well, we have got the Akimara. I would like to find a Vran, I think. I like the Dimeritium Shackles because Borg is really strong against us, so I would like to keep those around. Could just mulligan a Necker and hope to find one later. Is that okay? Could mulligan an Akimara. Maybe a mulligan Chiron, since it doesn't seem to be doing too much for us. We kind of need some fodder to eat, though. Let's throw away the Necker and see what we get. Oh, actually, that was horrible, because now we actually have nothing to eat. Well, we'll solve that problem when we get to it. Let's just see if something survives first. Or rather, if we're looking for something to eat, then we can just use Dagon and try and look for something. Oh, well, we can eat a Vran with a Vran. That's a little disappointing, I guess, but it's a good way to get things started, if need be. That probably wasn't the correct move. I don't have a lot of experience with the deck, unfortunately. And that is also a really annoying card. But we can probably raise it, right? She can hurt the Vran for a little bit, and then we'll see what happens afterwards. Do we want to draw some cards right now? Actually, Radovid wants to go all in the first round, right? So how about we don't give him that chance? We just build a board and see to find a way that it doesn't cost us too much. That's the main issue right now. He's got a lot of decent cards though, so he might be onto us. But I think if we can get the behemoths to work, or should we just start and eat something? If we eat the Vran with an Akimara here? I would like to have two Vrans working, but we cannot really make that work right now. Unless we Avalok and draw into something, which I don't like. Yeah, I don't like giving him the power with the Avalok, and that also delays us for one more turn. So let's just play the second Behemoth and see if we can make this work. He cannot Scorch us, so that's good. That would kill his own Ogfist right now. So that's something. And then we start eating, right? So we can eat the Vran, or do we eat the... we could eat a Behemoth with the Akimara. That's a little greedy though. But it does give us some fodder for the Vran, so I guess that's actually kind of okay. You never want to eat the Behemoths though, because they do give you a lot of value. I really don't know what's the correct call here, but I guess eating the Vran is okay. I don't know what's the best call here. It does mean that we actually have to play another Vran to make it work, but that could be okay-ish. Creating a lot of Arakase is also quite decent. So let's play another Vran and see if we can make this work. It immediately starts eating, so that's good. And for each Arakase that spawns, for each Arakas that spawns, it's plural is Arakase, right? I'm not really sure. So we could actually make an Akimara on the melee row to keep Jennifer busy for a little bit. That could be okay. Perhaps make a K run. That could work. Making a big board. Make him work for his win in the first round. Let's just hope he doesn't have Lacerate, because Lacerate is quite the killer for us.
Salutations.
He's making a decent board for himself too, but we can actually Igni for 15 value if he gets his final Reaver Hunter, which is okay, except that he just protected himself from that. So that is decently played around, I guess. Yeah, not much we can do about that, unfortunately. What we can do... We should probably just Ekumara and eat something, right? Just make an even bigger board. Or make a big K-Run. I actually like stocking some of our power into a big K-Run. It adds 8 and a lot of Arakuze. I think he might have actually already used Lacerate if he had the opportunity. That is probably fine. So let's eat the Ekumara and 2 of the Arakuze if we have the time, because this actually takes a lot of time to do. And we don't want the K-Run to eat something at random. Oh, alright. We had enough time, we made a big board. It's okay. No, Okfest did trigger, so perhaps this was a bad time, but that's kind of okay. Yeah, we probably should have just stuck with the Ekumara first. Because Okfest was going to trigger, and that means... well, he killed the Vran. Well, that's a shame. Not much we could have done about that, though. We could just pass and give him this round at this point. Did we kill anything of his? We didn't, right? No. So in that case, I would actually like to keep this round going. Actually, I don't think he wants to pass yet, so we could play Avalach and see if we can keep the train going. I think that's worth it now. And getting a Necker out is also beneficial. Oh, we start killing our behemoths though. That's not good. Oh, I am not sure about that. Okay, let's see how much power we can get in one turn, because I do think we want to win this round. Although we are already at 1 card disadvantage, that's not very good. We need 13 power in 1 card, and Vran Warrior would only be 9. Ekumara would be 10. Geralt Igni would be 11, so we can't really win in 1 shot. So in that case, do we want to play 2 cards for this? I do think we want to. So let's play the Necker. Play, let's say, I think the Ekumara eating whatever. Ekumara eating a behemoth could be okay. Because it's the card we're going to keep for next round, right? So it better be something big. So eating a behemoth is fine, because we don't care about the Arakuze anymore. So we're keeping an 8 and an 8, and that is actually fine. Oh, actually we're keeping 2 7s, because she's not going to trigger, that's good. Sometimes mechanics are confusing. Alright, so keeping 2 8s is actually fine. Actually keeping an 8 and a 9, so that's even better. And we get to add the Crones to the board and then make him spend some cards for his win. That was going to be the idea. So that's excellent. Wait, doesn't this guy... yeah, this should give us another Necker at the start of the next round, so that's excellent. So just going with the Crone here. Alright, and I think it's going to be an immediate pass after the next turn, because he's got some work to do to catch up here. And this is exactly why you mulligan away the Crowns. Because drawing 1 late is so good. It's so much more effective to play the Crones in a later round than playing it in the first round, because you don't really want to round 1 Crones and then pass. Because they'll happily take round 1, and then you'll have to play catch up in round 2, and whenever you're playing catch-up, then they can just decide to pass, and then you're out of luck. So, yeah, playing Crones round 1 is not really constructive. So we could play Borg here. That would be the only instance in which this sucks, I think. Ooh, that's painful. Yeah, this is an easy pass. He's going to have to spend a lot of cards to catch up here. At least 3, that means he starts next round, and we actually have the last play against him, which is great. We have a target to resurrect with the Caretaker here. Priscilla isn't bad. King of Beggars isn't bad. Oh, we can resurrect his King of Beggars and find our Grave Hag. That's excellent. That is actually excellent. I would love to resurrect his King of Beggars. Now, let's see how he's going to catch up.
What do you want?
Because... Oh, that's horrible, sir. How bad is his hand? That's his best option right now. So if I'm correct here, then the Crone that we're actually keeping is the Brewers, which means that is a correct play. The Ulzar's Thunder on the middle Crone is excellent, because it means that we're going to keep her, and it's only going to be a 1 strength unit. So that's an excellent choice. That is not, because now we get to keep a 4 instead of... Well, it is 5 strength, but we get to keep a 4 for the next round, so I'm not really sure about that. Alright, so... well, he's in a horrible position right now. Oh my god. Those Crones, they really did their job there. So yeah, we get to keep a 4 strength Crone, and this game is officially over.
I'm not afraid.
Oh, well, perhaps not. Perhaps not. If he's got some reasonable cards, then he could make it work. But he's not in a good spot. He's definitely not in a good spot here. What do we want to eat? I think we're playing Vran on the melee row, right?
Not a bad idea.
It could actually just be too vulnerable to Geralt Igni or something. Maybe Siege Row is actually fine. We don't really need the additional power. Oh. Well, I think he's already given up, but we should keep the first light around, shouldn't we? Let's place it in this melee row here. I would like to eat Stennis. Stennis is a good snack. Well, he's making a case for himself, but I'm pretty sure he's just going through the motions here. If his last card is Aeromancy, then we could be in trouble, maybe. I think we can safely just grab the Grave Hag here. Or he can just give up, alright. I don't blame him, I don't blame him. That was a terrible second round for him. I'm not sure what was going on there. He was really hoping to get a Ballista or something with his first light. I'm not sure what was going on there. But in each case, let's play at least one more game and see how it goes. I was expecting to have a tougher matchup there, but we managed pretty well in that first round, even without the Crones. That was actually quite decent. Ooh, and this could be a mirror match. Well, I'm curious about that one. So we would like to mulligan a Crone. Mulligan any Neckers above the first one, and I don't like Dimerichum Shackles too much in this matchup. So I think we're throwing that one away. Yes, I would like that. I'm not exactly sure whether he's also going to be consumed, but we can assume that with relative safety, I think. Let's play a Necker. We want to be careful with using the Necker Warrior. Kind of don't want to do that on the very first round, because there's a very real chance of you just pulling a Necker on the second turn, which would be a shame. I'm not really sure about the Crone's first turn, but if you happen to have a Crone or you pull one on the last mulligan, then I guess you might as well just play them. It's a big power swing,
Appearances,
but it's not as effective as it could have been I guess it does let you play Avalach kind of safely. And it gave us an extra necker, so that's not all that great, unfortunately. Let's go with the Behemoth, though, and make a big board. He can't pass anymore because he played Avalach, so that's nice. And the Ekamara should be a decent start. Even though we don't have a Vran Warrior, we could pull one with the first light, so I think that's a reasonable assumption. Let's go with... Actually, melee row should be fine. We don't want to overextend into Geralt Igni or something. Just make a few Arakaze, pull out another necker. So that's the last necker out of our deck. That's something to remember. That's actually not great, because we have the final necker in hand. That does mean that we're not pulling any neckers, so I guess it's good in that way. Let's go and first light. Now we don't have any neckers in our deck, so this is probably pretty great. And we did pull the Vran Warrior, so that's pretty good. Happy with that. And we could even Dagon... Alright. So what we're keeping here is an Arakas. I'm actually okay with that. He spent a lot of his gunpowder right now, and he will have to catch up in the second round. It's probably fine. I'm not really sure whether it's correct to go this deep with double Arakas Behemoth in the first round, because your opponent can just pass on you, but we should be in a decent position for future rounds, especially with the Groans here. So we can just... Wait, why did we keep the Vran? I really thought we would keep an Arakas. I'm not complaining, but... that is pretty good for us, so I think it's going to be Crown and Pass. That does mean we get to keep the 7 Strength Crown, but that's entirely okay. I am entirely okay with that. We might actually also want to play a Necker, but we should have done that first. Because we could play a Necker into Necker Warrior into Crones. Might be a bit greedy. I would like for him to just have to spend a lot of cards to catch up, and now we get to keep an 8 Strength Crown, so that's excellent. Do we still pass here? We could actually try and keep a big Ekamara or something for the final round, and just fight for this one a little bit. I would like to make some proper use out of this Neckers, and I'm not sure whether we'll be able to during the next round. Is there anything we can resurrect from his? No. We could have, if we didn't have a Crone right now, we could have used Caretaker to resurrect one of his. That would be even sicker. Anything useful though? The Vran doesn't have anything to eat. I think I'm actually okay with this. Let's pass, make him spend a couple more cards. I don't think he can catch up in 1 card, so we'll have to spend 2, which means that we're in the advantage. Oh, I guess actually he could Dagon for Rain. Dagon for Rain does do the trick? No, it doesn't. It just barely doesn't. Okay, that's a good Elzer's Thunder, because now I think we get to keep a 1. The new monster passive is confusing. I think this means we get to keep a 1 strength Brewess. So that would make sense. He needs to play a 10 strength card to catch up though. I'm not sure he'll be able to. That is not a 10 strength card. So that is actually excellent. He gets to keep a 12, we get to keep a 1. That's a little annoying, but he's 1 card behind and he has to start the next round. So that means we get some Dagon power, some Dagon value, and he does not. Oh, and for some reason we get to keep the 9 instead of the 8, and that is excellent. I'm not sure why. I can't really tell you why. But that's pretty good for us. Alright, multiplying the Neckers. I think we're also going to multiply the Neckers and then hope to get a Vran or something from his side. That seems reasonable. Oh, he did place the old Spirit Tip in the... Ooh, hello. I would like to kill that Vran and then steal it for myself. How about that? But first, let's Necker Warrior on the Necker here. Oh, we should probably draw some cards too, before we make any decision on what to caretaker. So what's gonna happen? Arrakis Behemoth, alright. So that probably means we want to Igni as fast as possible to deny him any value off of that. And that does work right now, and that is one of the most valuable plays right now. Alright. That does seem to be the correct move. And then we Avalach, and whatever piece we're still missing we can steal from his graveyard at this point. Because there's a Vran Warrior in there. I guess there's no Arrakis Behemoth there. Maybe... yeah, it's probably going to be the Vran Warrior, isn't it? Well, he still has another, so... still in pretty decent shape overall. But let's use this guy, and then... it's going to be so strong to have the final... Dagon available. I just wonder whether it's enough. Because he does have the old Spirit Tip, which is going to suck if we go and focus on the melee row. Well, if he weathers us, we can weather him right back, right? So the Frost should be really strong, unless he K-runs us. That's another concern. But in each case... we should probably... what does King of Beggars pull right now? It's going to be a Necker, isn't it? We don't want that to pull a Necker. But I guess that can't be helped. So let's just get the feast started, shall we? There's no way that we're going to get another Arrakis Behemoth out of that, right? So let's just start eating. Get all of the Neckers out, that's also valuable. And then King of Beggars can actually pull a Behemoth, I think. Or another Vran. Which is not particularly great. Alright, well that's a lot of Neckers on his side. We should be careful about him using K-Ran though. And I'm not sure what's the right way to prevent that from happening. Maybe we should just rely on a really big Grave Hack at this point. I'm concerned. Maybe we shouldn't have used Igni on the Vran Warrior earlier. This is concerning. Yeah, we can still steal his Vran Warrior. We still can eat some Neckers, so we probably should, right? We can also... well, he's never going to Frost us, so that's relatively safe, right? So resurrect the Vran, place it in the melee row. And I didn't keep track of the amount of Neckers we have left, but we probably should... oh, hello. Well, that's a curious thing. Did not expect that. Is there anything we can do about it? Not really. It's going to steal our Vran Warrior at this point. We cannot demote an Eater, unfortunately. That's really annoying. Well, it's going to end up in the melee row regardless, right? So we're not really losing anything. Huh. We're not really losing anything here. Alright, well, I guess that's fine.
Got it?
In that case, do we want to eat something first? Is this going to happen first, or... no, I think we actually want to eat something first. I really don't know. I honestly don't know at this point. I guess the friends might as well just eat each other. Perhaps that's wrong. So he steals a 15, but the... oh, I should not have placed that in the melee row, because I'm going to Frost that. I'm such a silly person. Well, I might as well just eat one with an Akimara before that happens, right? But he's going to weather that row, so I should definitely wait with that until it has happened. I'm really confused at this point. Did we actually have 2 turns? We might have actually had 2 turns. Oh, that's awful. He's going to eat stuff from the front row here. If he's not, then that's a really silly move. He really should eat stuff from the front row. Oh, but... maybe he weathers something and we can damage him, shackles him. Because the only thing he can do at this point is use weather or rally. So we're going to frost his row, but perhaps he's going to rain us. And that means... oh, see, it does get stolen right now. Alright. So if we're going to frost anyway, then we probably should... oh boy, this is hard. We should probably just frost him... no, we can't frost him right now. That is impossible, and we need this grave hack. So we actually want him to rain us, because we can then shackles his... yes, so we should do this. We should eat that one, place it on the siege row, so he casts rain. Because that's obviously his best move, right? And then we hope our grave hag is big enough. That's going to be the move. He's going to rain, and then we're going to frost. And then we shackle his Skyran, and we play grave hag, and we win. That's going to be what's gonna happen. It's entirely predictable at this point. Except the Vrans are going to eat something, but that's okay. So we shackle this one. I think we have to do that first, so the Vrans eat something first. It's the small things that matter. I think. Does he have any neckers left? I don't think he has any neckers left, but he could. Oh, he's generating extra Arakas though. But that was gonna happen anyway. So now we frost to negate any value he has from that, and then we hope the grave hag is big enough. He does get to eat 2 more things, so that's 2 more Arakase over there. How big is this grave hag? It's probably not big enough, actually. We didn't really create enough Arakas here. So that eats that one, eats that one. I don't think it's big enough. That's a shame. So with a bit more optimization, I think we could have done it, but that was tricky. Jeez. Alright, well played, sir. And that was enough enough brain exercise for today, I think. I do hope you enjoyed this episode, this video, or whatever you want to call it. And I do hope you'll have a lot of fun with this deck. There's a lot of beta keys floating around everywhere, a lot of giveaways, so definitely go check it out if you haven't already. Because if you want to be playing this game and you don't want to buy a key from any disreputable site or whatever, please just do a Google search. You'll be able to get whatever you're seeking and get to join in on the fun. In each case, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.